Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the JMA Connection this 27th day of November 2025. Of course, today is Thanksgiving in the United States of America, so let me take this opportunity to say happy Thanksgiving to all of those who are watching me at this time, and I hope that you're having fun with your family members and, of course, praying for our prisoners of conscience of the southern Cameroons, praying for our prisoners of war, praying for all our people who are facing very challenging situations wherever they may be, either on the ground in the southern Cameroons or in the refugee camps in Nigeria, in Ghana, and in other countries. So let's continue to pray for them and find the opportunity to continually share with them. I suppose you're also finding time to pray for our brave hearts, those ones who have decided to commit their lives, to put their lives on the line so that we may one day enjoy a free, independent, prosperous, and a very welcoming country, the Southern Cameroons. That said, I would like us to jump into a few things with our noisy neighbors, the citizens of the Republic of Cameroon, and in the end, don't go away. I have some very important information that we will share together coming from the southern Cameroons, and this will be some very interesting message for the Archbishop of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province, and of course to all men and women of God operating in the southern Cameroons. And this appeal will be an appeal for them also to reach out to those members of the CPDM crime syndicate who are now seeing us, seeing our land only as a place where they come for vote harvesting, where they come to, stage and claim votes that were never cast to prosper their political careers. This will also concern them. Now, a quick brush over. I was on social media trying to check out to see exactly what is going on, and I see that the mobilization is hotting up in the Republic of Cameroon towards the observance of the ghost towns called by the spokesperson for the president-elect of that country, Issa Chiruma Bakari. And so Lassin sent out a strong message saying that number one, they don't think that any elections being carried out on Sunday, the 30th of November, in the name of regional elections, are actually going to be representative of the people's wills and wishes. And so, in parallel, she's organizing an online vote on Zoom, and hopes that Cameroonians from all the regions of that country will log in and participate in the online vote that she says will be very transparent, and the votes cast will be counted, and of course everything will be done online and in a very transparent manner. That's number one. Then number two, there is also a release out there making it triumphantly clear that the FSNC party of Issa Chiruma Bakari will not be participating in the regional elections being organized by what they consider to be the illegitimate government of Mr. Paul Biya on Sunday, the 30th of November. So, to put it clear, the FSNC is boycotting that election and is urging Cameroonians, of course, to do the very same thing. And this press release was in response to a message published in L'Oeil du Sahel. That's a newspaper published by a son of the northern regions, Gibai Gatama, in which he indicated that the FSNC was going to be participating in the regional elections that have been billed for Sunday, the 30th of November. So that aside, I see there's a lot of mobilization ongoing, a lot of preparation, ongoing on the ground. I spoke to a lot of people in Garwa, in Marwa, in Gaundere, and I reached out to some in Bafoussam and in Douala, and they told me that, word is moving around very fast that on Sunday, the 30th of November, on Monday, the 1st of December, and on Tuesday, the 2nd of December, all businesses will be shut down. All urban and interurban transportation companies and taxi drivers, bike riders will park their vehicles, will not be doing anything. I understand that especially the logistic companies, the trucks that are transporting goods from the Douala seaport to other parts of the country, especially the northern parts, the east to Central African Republic and to Chad, that these trucks will be parked and the trucks will not be moving. I understand that they are using several other traditional means of communication, some even trying knocking at doors to let people understand the importance of observing these ghost towns. I should always say kudos to them all. And of course, I understand they are actually preparing to adopt some of the strategies that are shared with them in my last communication, notably, making sure they can also send out bulk messaging, making sure they will be able that they can throw tracks all over the place in their territory, and of course make calls. I was told by one of the activists in the diaspora that they're actually putting in place an army of volunteers in the diaspora in various countries in the West, who beginning Friday evening, that's tomorrow evening, will be calling back home, calling family members, calling neighbors, calling friends, calling everyone to remind them of the importance of observing these ghost towns and telling them that this resistance must not be allowed to fail. So we'll be watching very closely to see how things turn out. In that part of the country, I've received a lot of calls too, a lot of text messages from the people of the southern Cameroons asking me, what the people of the southern Cameroons have to do with respect to those calls. I will go back to what our policy has been. The people of the southern Cameroons, we have a different fight from that of the Republic of Cameroon. But again, like I said, we will support them in every way possible so they go ahead, so they strengthen their resistance. But at the same time, we are not going to sacrifice our people. We are not going to get our people directly involved. And so, of course, we have our natural Monday ghost towns. And then on Tuesday, of course, life will go on normally. In the southern Cameroons, usually on Sunday, we do business. People go to church, they come back from church, they do business around to prepare to, be shut down on Monday. So on Monday, obviously, everyone in the southern Cameroons will be staying home. That one is our normal thing. It's something that we have done for 9 years and counting. And thankfully, our Lassin also said that they are staying on Monday, of course, in solidarity. I said earlier that we will not be making any serious comment as far as that is concerned. And then, of course, on Tuesday, we will definitely watch them, do it. We have been doing that. Prior to their charade of an election, we were in ghost towns for 6 solid weeks. 6 solid weeks while things were going on normally on their territory. So on Tuesday, while they will be observing ghost towns, it will be business as usual in the southern Cameroons. But if you have any way you can call them to encourage them, any way you can do to help them understand the need to stand up for their rights, of course we will encourage them. Because like I said, and I will reiterate always, in their business, we have our business. So let them go ahead. We will encourage them. We will assist them in whatever way possible so that they develop the spirit of resistance. I know it's not easy for them, but they definitely will get there. In the meantime, the government of, should I say the illegitimate government or whatever of Paul Biya, the gang is still, they are still, in conclave, battling seriously over the sharing of their booty. Of course, I will come back to exactly the sequences that Mr. Biya has often gone through before naming a new government after elections. I've taken time to delve back into all of that with specific dates and all of those things, so we should understand, exactly what is happening that way. But the information coming out from their circles indicates that there is a serious tear, People are fighting so hard. Everyone is believing that they did what they ought to do to assure Paul Biya a victory, and so they deserve more than they had before. You've heard one like Jean de Dieu Momo. He didn't hide his own. He didn't say it, but under his bed. He said it in the public that for all the time that he was vice minister or something of the sort, he was warming up. They were preparing him. And now he has finished his probational period and is ready and ripe enough now to occupy a full ministry as a titular minister. That translates to you the spirit that is in the minds of each and every one of them. Of course, the O.C. Joshua's, the Cabral Libis, the Serge Espoir Matomba, and others who are waiting to make their first entry into the government are also warming up and waiting very seriously. So at that level, I mean, of the sharing, it's still really, really a problem. And don't forget, in one of my editions, I talked about the economic woes that the country is facing. Listen, if at all the people of the Republic of Cameroon go ahead to implement the economic blockade I understand they are contemplating, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be a very difficult moment for the Biya system. It will be so difficult for them to survive. I say so because I've heard that they are muting, or that they are discussing seriously a strategy to block the circulation of those big logistic trucks between the northern part of the country and the southern part of the country. That from Gaundere, they are going to make sure that no truck is bringing down either foodstuff, either cattle that's for meat, or mutton, or goats, or anything at all altogether. So they want to block for a very long period of time. I don't know when they are planning to implement that particular aspect, but that is also something we're going to be watching very, very closely. If they block that corridor, they will not be blocking only food supplies from coming down from the northern regions down to the south. They will also be making impossible for products for shipment to be leaving the Douala seaport to N'Djamena in Chad. And because a lot of those logistic trucks are owned by northerners, that will mean that even circulation between the Douala seaport and the Central African Republic will become very, very challenging and very, very difficult. And this will affect the purse. It will affect the purse very, very seriously. So these are things that we have to be watching out in the Republic of Cameroon. That said, my people, there's a lot of pain. There's been a lot of crying in one neighborhood in Bamenda known as Back PMI. That's in Quen. For those who know Quen very well, where the Amu Mezam has their company, there's a hospital there known as the PMI. There is a neighborhood behind that PMI, so they call that area Back PMI. Yesterday in the night, that's the night of Wednesday, breaking Thursday, about 9 p.m., soldiers, the colonial soldiers, the occupational forces of La République du Cameroun, stormed that neighborhood. They claimed that they had received calls from someone that they were gunmen in that neighborhood, and so they were going there after those gunmen. So they went. As they invaded the entire neighborhood, a lot of people were running into their homes, and then they were making a lot of noise. This poor lady, who knows that one of her neighbors has the habit of often returning drunk, making a lot of noise, knocking at doors and all of those things, and she wasn't feeling really good. She wasn't in good shape. She asked her son, her only son. This son's name is Thierry. The guy was called Thierry. Thierry was a student of the University of Bamenda. Thierry was poised to graduate from the University of Bamenda this December, for crying out loud. This December. Thierry is a young man who is so liked, so loved by everyone in that neighborhood, because not only is he meek, calm, and very focused, he is a gentleman who appears not to have been in that kind of position at any time whatsoever to hurt even a fly in that neighborhood. He was that kind of gentleman who walked according to his mother's guidelines, and was so determined to make his mother proud for all her sacrifices over the years, doing all kind of menial things, doing petty trade to help him get sound education. She sent this young man to go open the door See who was out there, and if he were that noisy fellow, tell the fellow they should calm down and make less noise because she really wasn't in good health. Unfortunately, this young man opens the door and comes face to face with La République du Cameroon's colonial military, with the forces of occupation. And when they come to him, he greets them. He didn't know that that's what was going on. So the mother then comes up, meets them too, and is talking to them. And this gentleman begins talking to them in French and tells them he is a student. And they were asking him, where is the gun? And he was telling them he has no gun. He's a student, knows nothing about gun. He's a student of the University of Bamenda. The mother too was trying to talk. They took this gentleman quietly behind their own house. And while the mother was in there, still waiting that they were going to turn around and come back with her son, they shot this young man in the head several times. They defaced the young man and killed him for no good reason. For no good reason. This is somebody, even if they suspected that he was the one that was carrying the gun, they met him with no gun. They took him, he was already in their hands without a gun, with no weapon. And he was screaming and telling them that he is a student, for crying out loud. Unarmed, he had no arms. They took him behind the house. If they suspected, of course, they already had him. So they could go detain him and carry out investigations. Hell no, they didn't do that. They shot him dead. This was this woman's only son. A single mother who had struggled over the years to educate her son. At the time this boy is about to graduate, to graduate from school, to start struggling to make his mother proud, they cut short his life. This kind of extrajudicial killing, these are the things we have become used to in the southern Cameroons. This is the so-called forces that are supposedly there to protect the people. This is what they are doing to us. This is what they are doing to our people. I hope that Mama Regina Mundi is hearing this. I hope that those members of the CPDM crime syndicate who only use our land as a vote harvesting tack, who are even there as I speak, claiming that they are that they are organizing an election. I hope they are hearing this. I'm also placing this squarely at the doorsteps of Archbishop Nkia. Archbishop Nkia, this is the peace, my dear brother. I've always said that when I'm talking to him, we are conversing, not antagonizing. Because I know Archbishop Nkia. I know the thought he had towards this liberation movement while he was still Bishop of Mamfe. And I'm hoping that the same spirit has stayed. And now I'm saying this is another opportunity to gather all the Christians, put them on the streets, to march to those military camps and tell those people to leave our land. This is what we are talking about. Justice. You can't talk peace without justice. This is what we are talking about. As I'm talking, I'm finding it difficult to hold myself, finding it difficult to retain myself, finding it difficult not to cry. Look at this young man. Look at the mother. The state in which these soldiers even saw the mother. They heartlessly took her son behind the house and killed him. Will anything happen to them? No, we are animals. They kill us for their sport. While I was still grappling with that, I stumbled on this letter that is dated the 17th of November 2025. The character is so fine, although it's circulating on social media right now. I know a lot of us may not be able to read it. So that's why I want to take permission and take the liberty for us to go through this letter. This letter is written by the principal of the St. Joseph Catholic Comprehensive College, Lassin. Lassin is in the northern zone of the southern Cameroons. This is in Bui County, specifically of the southern Cameroons. And it's addressed to the divisional officer, Noni Subdivision. This is an appeal letter. Please follow the terms very well, because I'm convinced that while Archbishop Kia is preparing to get the clergy, the laity, and everyone to march to Baba this Friday, the 28th of January, he should also be preparing to make sure that he will assemble all the Christian folks of the southern Cameroons so that we should march to these colonial forces and ask them to leave our land. Just listen to this. These are the same people who are moving around protecting these men and women of God in our land. Yeah, there's one at Chokbang Paul in Bamenda who moves around saying he's city mayor. I don't even know who elected him, but also says he's a pastor. But everywhere he goes, you have about 6 or 8 B behind him everywhere. These are people who are protecting them, but see what they are doing in our communities. So this letter reads, an appeal. He says, accept greetings from His Royal Highness, the Fon of Lassin, the school administration, Sajokol, that is St. Joseph's Catholic Comprehensive College, Lassin, the parents of the concerned. And they say, it is with great dissatisfaction that we file to your high office this complaint about the forces of law and order in our locality here in Lassin. Within the coming of, they say with the coming of the army here, we thought our community was safe and the insecurity was no longer an issue. Recently, before we are talking or we are taking these complaints, we have tried to solve so many other issues within our capacity. We can no longer hold because our efforts to solve everything is like pouring water on a deck's back. We will solicit that you handle these problems in your capacity as a divisional officer with the greatest care and promptness. The forces of law put in charge of us here have turned against our students, daughters, and children. They use our children for their sexual gratification. Those forces use our children for their sexual gratification. The real issue here comes because all the children concerned are minors below the ages of 18 and even 16 years. Some of these children were removed from their houses to be staying in school. They were removed from their houses to be staying in school because of these military personnel. Still yet, I'm reading, still yet, they have not stopped their activities with the children. Some even went as far as buying phones for the children who are in school for easy communication and access to the children. Apart from raping the children, they have turned families apart and put these minors against their parents. Our schools have been debased by sexual immoralities, and the sexual scandal is no longer a crime for minors caused by the army here in Lassin. We, the signatories of this letter, look forward to seeing some measures taken against the perpetrators of these atrocities. We think they should be handled accordingly as per the law of Cameroon National Education Guidelines number 98/004/1998 on protection, especially minors from sexual abuse. I personally think the law includes provisions for aggravated rape, which is treated more severely because the victims are minors. The penal code clearly states that any person below 18 years of age is a child. The concerned here are also below this age, and we think, according to law number 2017/012 of 12 July 2017, to lay down the code of military justice section 9, ties very well with this crime and should be handled with a lot of care. The above mentioned is just one of such cases that we have tried to handle, and is above us. The brutality, yes, the brutality took a different turn in the last weeks as one of these military officers came to the market and set the the benches and seats of the women, yes, of the market men and women ablaze and threaten anyone who comes out to talk. This is what our people are facing from the so-called forces of law and order, from this army of occupation. And this is a kind of peace that I hear a church leader say the people really need peace. These are the people whom they are counting on. These are the people whom members of the CPDM crime syndicate are littering all over the place. So in some villages, some complicit chiefs or funds have even gone ahead to ask that they wanted military garrisons constructed in their areas. This is what you are inviting. And this is what we have been talking about. This kind of dehumanization, this kind of outright disregard for our persons. It reads still, we thought it wise that this was a call for concern, and that is why we, the parents, administration of the school concerned, and the traditional ruler, the fond of Lassin, sat down and put this into writing to place before your high office. We will be very grateful if our appeal finds mercy in your eyes and prompt action is taken for the good of our community. Here attached is a list of children and the names of the military officers who are after them. The names might not actually be their real names, but that's how they are called. And the names are here. Student Shea Yoland, 14 years old. Usmanu Sherif, 15 years old. Blessing Mfonya, 16 years old. Shea Kalin, 17 years old. And then the military officers, Belmin Kalash, Belsala, Baltazar Jr., Eric Emana. You see them. All of them. These are citizens of French Cameroon. Are citizens of the Republic of Cameroon. Descending on our community. Wreaking this havoc on our children. This thing you are seeing in Lassin is just a tip of the iceberg. All over the southern Cameroon, that's what they have been doing. They have raped people's wives in the presence of the husbands, raped people's children in the presence of the parents. These so-called soldiers from La République du Cameroon. They threaten even teachers, female teachers, whom they threaten and rape some of them with the barrel of the gun. That they use their guns, their weapons as an instrument to defile these women. A lot of them are so ashamed even to discuss these things publicly, to say their ordeal. But this is what has been happening. I'm glad that this is coming just a day before the Archbishop of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province, that covers the entire southern Cameroon, mobilizes the people to go out so that you know who to be going out against. And so this is signed. It says, the parents of the concerned, Shea Etienne and Ching Blessing, Usmanu Danjuma, and then there's also Tata Vivienne. And so this is signed the principal of Sajoko, Reverend Father Paul Verla, and of course His Royal Highness, the Fond of Lassin, and a copy of this has been sent to the Justice and the Peace Commission of the Kumbo Diocese. So of course the church will not say they did not receive a copy of this. I'm also going to make sure I share this with right organizations here and there. This is the ordeal of the people of the Southern Cameroons. I use this occasion to urge our people to understand that this fight for freedom, for us, is an existential fight. This is not something that we play with. This is a fight that will actually redefine us as a people. That's why each time I say we need to all come on board and make sure we get these people out of our land so that we can restore the soul of our land. It's painful to go through this kind of thing. Very painful. I urge each and every one of us, especially those who have backslided, come back to the fold. Especially those who are already beginning to feel tired, come back to the fold. Especially those who sometimes sit and when we call, they say, oh, you and that, your ambassador, it doesn't concern me. Take note. It will knock at your doorsteps soon. Let us all arise and fight for what we believe in. This is a sacred duty. I want to thank all of those who took part in this broadcast. If you're watching me live, thank you very much for your kind attention. Share the link to this communication as much as you can. Let's reach as many people as we can so that people will continue to stay, so that we all continue to stay sensitized, to stay mobilized, and stay informed about what is happening around us. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, hit on that subscribe button, personalize so that anytime something lands here, you will be the first to know. Thank you very much for your very kind attention. And once more, happy Thanksgiving to all our people who are in the United States of America.